Or welcome to Mixed In Overtime, and this one is we just did an episode of Diet Coke and Mentos. And you know what? William was
valuable lesson.
Well, yeah, William was quite the trooper with the intro there.
By the way, I knew totally what was going to happen. I'm not that stupid.
But I think you were a little bit surprised about how fast and violent it comes out of the bottle.
Yeah, I had no idea how quickly it was going to come out, so I was surprised at that, but I knew.
That was pretty funny.
All in the end that it was.
And if you listen to that carefully, I was laughing quite a bit when I dove out of the frame there.
Yeah.
So we do have one thing we didn't talk about when we did the Diet Coke and Mentos with our experiment. We pretty much tried to do was to see if 5 Mentos and 14 Mentos makes a higher fountain of foam from Diet Coke. But William, now we can give you a little bit behind the scenes of what actually happens when Mentos
why
goes
it's doing
in
that.
there.
When, so I found a Wikipedia page, and of course everybody knows Wikipedia page is nothing but facts put in there.
Nothing but facts.
Nothing but facts. So they believe it. Diet Coke and Mentos eruption, or Diet Coke and Mentos geyser, is a reaction between the carbonated beverage and Mentos candies that cause the beverage to spray out of its container. The numerous small pores in the candy surfaces catalyze the release of carbon dioxide, CO2.
So I saw a little diagram of that one time, and so it makes it look like if you were to really zoom in really close at a Mentos, it would pretty much look like a golf ball. There's little pits all over it.
So Chris was right about that. If you get that outside wet in any way, then probably won't have the same reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably try that. We should took one and wiped it down or something.
And see if it would do anything. I think it would probably null it. I guess you could do this also, William, if you were to take rock salt. You could put it in the Diet Coke and it does the same thing because there's all the same kind of pits and pores in the rock salt, and it would do nearly the same effect as Mentos.
Yeah. Do you think it would do it less or more?
I think they showed it on Mythbusters, and they did just some. It looked the same.
Yeah. There's a thing on here talking about what Mythbusters thinks happens to it.
Mm-hmm.
The small pores and carbon dioxide, CO2 gas from the soda, resulting in a rapid explosion of corpuscles, quantities of foam. So
very violent, very fast.
Yeah, when the CO2 goes in there, then it starts doing the CO2 thing that you're like when you shake it up, and it all turns to foam and
big time.
Yeah, and it was awesome with the 14. I don't know if it would have the same effect with less.
Well, it does do pretty good even with 5. It just it seems like when we did 14, if we were to measure how much Coke was left in the bottom, it was nearly the same. It's just with 14, a lot more of it came out faster.
Yes, I think
the same amount comes out, but it came out faster.
Yeah, so I think. Even with just putting the 5 in there, it went up pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
With putting the 14, it went up like a foot past our mark, which was about 9 feet.
Yeah, our mark was around 8.
Yeah, so it went up about a foot.
We didn't expect it to go that high at all.
Yeah.
It went out of frame.
Then with the 4, it went up pretty high. I mean, it still went up there about 7 feet, so if you would have added 1 or 2 more, it probably would have got up.
So it was a good experiment. More Mentos is a more explosive foam.
It was faster and furious.
Pretty cool.
They should make a movie about that.
Yeah.
About the fast and furiousness of Mentos and Diet Coke.
What
I
else?
don't know. I could write it. Add a bunch of naked women dancing around, and that would pretty much be it, but
that'd be a good movie.
Yeah, I think so.
What else did they say?
They say the popularized using is Diet Coke.
Yeah.
For similar products.
We tried it with the seltzer water or the tonic water that had the quinine, whatever you call it in there, quine. That did have an eruption, but not nearly as impressive as Diet Coke. I think they're also there. Don't they say that it's not just any kind of cola? Every kind of cola will probably have some kind of eruption because of the Mentos, but Diet Coke, because of the what is it? What is it that makes the diet flavor, the sugar or whatever? Is it aspartame or whatever that chemical is? That increases the eruption.
Yeah. So it says here that any carbonated beverage will produce a similar effect. The reaction was popularized with Diet Coke for seamless. Whatever. Okay, MythBusters concluded that I can't pronounce these words for the life of me, but potassium, benzoate, and aspartame.
Aspartame. That's
aspartame.
That's what I was trying to think. Aspartame. That's the artificial sugar that they put in the Diet Coke
sweetener,
and that has a big. On MythBusters they tried all the chemicals separately in some soda, and a little bit of reactions. And that had some reaction on its own. But when you combine all the things that are in Diet Coke, there's the big explosion. Yeah.
And CO2 gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
of course.
Containing the Diet Coke and carbonation with the gelatin and the gum.
Mm-hmm.
Acrobatic ingredients. Arabic.
Yeah.
The ingredients and Mentos all contribute to the formation of the foam.
Yeah.
So this is from MythBusters.
Yes. And I
wish I knew which episode it was. I would like to watch that.
It's the only one that's Mentos and Coke.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. The structure of the Mentos and the most significant causes in eruptions are due to the nucleation.
Mm-hmm. That's when all the carbon, the CO2, sticks to all those little golf ball holes on the Mentos.
Golf ball holes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice scientific word. MythBusters reported that when the fruit-flavored Mentos with a smooth, waxy coating were tested in the carbonated drink, they were hardly a reaction.
Yeah. There's no little pits in it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much that. That is that. But it was an awesome experiment.
Yeah.
It's nothing like when you see it on YouTube. It's like, oh wow, that's cool.
And it was our first My Laboratory. We decided that we're going to start doing some scientific experiments.
Yeah.
So if you guys like that thing, comment here that you love seeing that, and then go over there and leave a comment. If you've ever tried that, and how many Mentos were you able to dispense into a Diet Coke? And
once, yeah.
Can you?
I got 14
without modifying the bottle. We just let the bottle be the bottle. I know that you can add little things on top of there to try to get it to go higher, and that's cool. But that's just leaving the bottle unmodified. And there's probably a different shape to some of the bottles. Like we tried an off-brand, the Sam's Cola, and then just the Diet Coke, and I think there was a quite similar response, but probably the Diet Coke shape.
Yeah, because it had that hourglass shape to it, where the off-brand was just a straight.
Yeah,
tunnel.
And it was fun to watch the difference, but nearly a 9-foot plume of foam goodness.
It was still awesome. It was still awesome. But I got 14 of them in there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We counted it afterwards, too, when we emptied it out. There were 14 of them still inside.
Yeah. So. Mine would spit them all out.
Yeah.
So
Like, as soon as you got in there, it just started going and just going.
Yeah.
And
it was cool to see the two at the same time.
It was awesome. It's almost like diarrhea. If you could only see that.
So
I'm pretty sure it would be like the same way.
So there's plenty of more. We are going to do more of our mixed-in laboratory experiments. Yes. There's one coming up soon that has to do with dry ice and bubbles. Blowing bubbles with the soap bubble mix. With dry ice, and so that'll be pretty cool.
Awesome.
And so there'll be more. If you have any suggestions for some experiments that we should try, that aren't going to be things that are going to blow my house up or
limbs. We'd like to keep all the limbs.
And I don't want any gas that's going to kill our pets and things like that. So safe experiments to a degree.
It'd be nice to have like stuff we can actually get a hold of too.
Like I've heard of things like
experiments out there with like stuff. It's like how am I supposed to get a hold of that?
Well, I think like things like glow sticks, Mountain Dew, baking soda, vinegar, things like that are normal things that we can get our hands on. Let's do things like that, and so we can make things look really epic, and give us a chance to play around with our slow motion stuff too.
That was
all right. Yeah. All right, so that's it for Is that pretty much all you got?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right,
and I already mentioned feces, so I'm good.
We have to mention that every time.
Yeah, it's in there.
So that's it for the mixed in overtime for our Coke and Mentos episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next time on Mixed In.